Hi, and welcome to this video on using GeoScience World and GeoRef. I'm Kristen Adams, Science and Engineering Librarian at Miami University Libraries. We're going to be talking about both of these databases today because GeoRef is integrated into GeoScience World, but you can also use them on their own, so it can be a bit confusing to talk about them separately. In this video, we'll go over how to do a search, including the different search options in each database, and how to access the full-text PDF, as not everything we'll find in these databases will be available there. So we'll have to link to yet another database to get that. All right, let's start over at the library homepage. Okay, so we're at the library's homepage now. One of the quick ways to get to any of the databases is through the databases A to Z link right here. And this pulls up an alphabetical listing of all of our databases. There's a lot of them, so it really helps to know which one you're looking for and either do a search for it or do a subject filter, which is what we're going to do. So we'll click here and we'll scroll down to geology. There it is. Okay, so we're going to be looking at both GeoRef and GeoScience World. We're going to start with GeoRef, and we can see here under the databases for geology there's a best bets box, and both of them are in this box. So we'll go ahead and get this one loaded, and then you'll need to sign in if you're not already. Okay, so now GeoRef is open. This page may look familiar to you if you've used many other databases before. It's an EBSCO database, which we can see here up in the logo. And because they all look so similar, you want to be sure that you're using the right one. And you can tell which database you're in right up here at the top. It says searching, and we're in GeoRef, which is where we want to be. All right, so we've got a couple different search boxes here, and we'll put our keywords in there in just a second. But I do want to look at what the search options are. We're probably just going to go with keyword for most of these, but let's just look at what some of the other ones are. We've got publisher, author, author affiliation, and latitude and longitude, and also coordinates. Those aren't things that you can usually search by in most databases, so that's kind of neat about GeoRef. Let's put our terms in. Got ichnology, which is the study of trace fossils. Let's look in Canada, and we're also going to throw in an author search as well. I know that Van writes on this topic, so we'll look for them under author, and we'll just leave these other ones as keywords. Okay, so we have 23 results here. That's pretty focused because we used some pretty good keywords and we put the author in there as well, so we don't have a whole lot to look for. But over on the left, we've got some refined results options. We've got some pretty standard ones here. We've got the date range, which you can limit, and also if you want just journal articles, then you can click that as well. Because this one's kind of small, we only have two choices, academic journals and conference papers, but oftentimes you'll get other things like book chapters in there as well. Subject is another one that's really useful. If you're doing a mostly keyword search, recommend looking under subject to see if you can find some other keywords for your search. And we've also got publication, which is the journal title, and language that we can sort by as well. Look at the results here. We can see that all of them have this yellow Find It button, which means that the full text isn't stored in here, which is going to be true for anything in GeoRef. GeoRef just indexes articles. They don't actually house the articles. So we'll do a Find It button search, and you can see what that looks like in just a second. Let's click one of them here so we can open up the article itself. Okay, so we've got some pretty standard information on this page. We have the title, which we saw on the results page. We've also got the authors, the citation information, so the source, which is like the journal that it was published in, the year, volume, issue number, all the things that you need for the citation. It also has some subjects here, which are just kind of that's just another word for keywords. And these are all clickable, so you can just click on those and it'll do a search for you in GeoRef, which is kind of handy. So that's what we have for the record here. Another quick note about this page, it's pretty important, is this button over here. It's the Permalink. If you're not going to save the article itself just right away, but you do want to save the record, it's really important that you use the Permalink or something like that. It's called different things in different databases, but that will give you a URL so that you can come back to the article. And that's the one that you want to use. You don't want to use the one that's up in the address bar because that's tied to your session, and so it won't work for you or anyone else later. So that's a really important thing. We'll close that for now. And let's click the Find It button so we can see what that looks like, because we want the full text. Okay, so this one doesn't have any full text available. We can request the item. It says no full text records found If we did have a copy, then it would show you a list of the different databases that you could get it in. But unfortunately for this one, we don't have that. So you would need to do a request through Interlibrary Loan for that one, which is at this link right here. Okay, so we are back at the databases A to Z list, and we've had a look at GeoRef, so now we're going to have a look at GeoScience World. Okay, so as we can see, this looks quite a bit different than the GeoRef database did. We have got a quick search box up here at the top. I'd recommend doing the advanced search though, because it gives you some more search options, including more search boxes than just one. So this is the advanced search screen. One of the first options you want to pay attention to is the content I have access to, or the all content option. I'd recommend going with the all content option. That'll show things that we have and things that we don't have. The content I have access to will only show you what Miami University Libraries has, which can be kind of limiting. But it's up to you which one you want to choose. We're going to leave it at all content. And we're going to do the same search that we did before. So Ichnology, Canada, and we'll need to add another box here for ban. Okay. Another thing that you need to pay attention to in GeoScience World is that it defaults to having you search as just the title, which is not what we want to do in this case. We just want to do keywords. So we're going to change that real quick. And let's go with the full text. That'll search anywhere in the full text for that word. We can also do keyword as a GeoRef descriptor, but that means it's going to have to be indexed with that term that we're typing in, and we're not sure if it's going to be or not, so we're going to search for the full text, except for this last one here, which is going to be the author. Okay, so if we scroll down, we've got some other things that we can search by. I mentioned the coordinates in GeoRef that you can search by, and that's the same in GeoScience World, but most of the time they have a map feature as well, so you can put in the coordinates here if you'd like to. Otherwise, normally there is a map that you can use to define your search parameters. Sometimes it's not working, which it's not right now. That's generally whether you're on or off campus, though. We've also got some other publication options down here that you can specify if you want to search in. A lot of these are really good because they're the professional society publications, which can be really, really useful. We've got some other limiters down here too, but we're just going to go ahead and run our search. Okay, so last time I think we got 23. This time we have 47, which is a few more. As I said, there's a lot of overlap between GeoRef and GeoScience World, and GeoRef is part of GeoScience World, so when we're doing this search, then all the ones from GeoRef are in here, but it looks like we have some other ones as well, because now we have 47. So let's see what we have. Again, on the left, we've got the limiters. We've got the article type, which we had before. They've got slightly different terms for it, but it's kind of the same thing. We've got the different journals that it appears in. Okay, and one thing that's really nice about GeoScience World, which is a little bit different than GeoRef, is these GeoRef subjects. They've got a lot of different breakdowns of the categories here. So like geologic age, we've got Cenozoic, Mesozoic, Paleozoic, and Phanerozoic. And you can expand these and click on them, which is really helpful if you're doing geology research. That's a pretty specific need for geologists, and so they've customized this database to be able to do that. They've also got it for different fossil groups, but that'll vary depending on what your search is as to what's available there. Let's make this go back up to the top. So as we can see, the results list is also a little bit different. Some of these actually have some pictures that are showing up that are the figures in the different papers. So it gives you a little preview, and we also have some that have the PDF button, which we didn't see in GeoRef. So let's click on that one. Okay, so this is the article page. It looks a bit different than the one in GeoRef did, and that's in part because we actually have the full text, and so it's giving you a preview. So you can read it here in the browser. You can scroll through and read it that way if you'd like to. It also has a preview of the different figures and things like that. Okay. One thing that's a little bit different about this article record is that we don't have all of the citation information just right at the front like we did in GeoRef. So if we click on the GeoRef button over here and scroll down a little bit past all of these indexing terms, which are just keywords, again, you can click on those. And we'll want to go to the full Geo Ref Record, and then we get this page here while we're still in GeoScience World that has the full record information on here. So before we had the title and the author, now we've got the latitude and longitude, which are those coordinates that you can search by, and the abstract, and then if you scroll all the way down, then you get the citation information here. So that's a little trickier to get to, but it is all still here. And we saw the permalink earlier. This one, as I said, it doesn't call it a permalink all the time, but this is the link that you would want to use. Okay, so that wraps it up. I hope you learned something. If you still have further questions, please do let us know. Librarians are always happy to help. And thanks for watching.